Coming up on CTV News, one holiday that has the Boulder community up in smoke.
Plus how CSU is becoming even more green this week.
Produced for students, by students. For Channel 11, this is CTV News.
With CTV, I'm Dylan Thomas.
And I'm Kirsten Swanson. We're following a developing story tonight out of Sanford, Florida. On Wednesday, a Florida judge disqualified herself from a criminal case involving George Zimmerman, the neighborhood watch volunteer who fatally shot 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. The defense team for Zimmerman requested that Judge Jessica Rexseidler will be removed after she revealed that her husband works for a CNN legal analyst. In some more breaking news, broadcast icon Dick Clark died Wednesday at the age of 82. He had a heart attack while in a hospital in Santa Monica. Clark was the creator and longtime host of American Bandstand, along with the host of Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve specials. Clark suffered a mild stroke in 2004, but continued to appear on camera. He is survived by his wife, 2 sons, and a daughter.
Earth Week starts today as 2012 Synergy Expo kicked off in the main ballroom of the Laurie Student Center. The expo was full of free food, displays, and multiple speeches on clean energy awareness. Now, Synergy stands for the Clean Energy Supercluster, which is the CSU research program committed to creating clean and sustainable energy.
CSU has taken on a very proactive approach to developing solutions in a number of areas. Again, cancer treatment and diagnostics, infectious diseases, and clean energy. So what this really represents today is really celebrating the results that have come from that work and really looking ahead as we seek to take those results and understand how we can disseminate those at wide scale.
April 20th. To some, it's a sorrowful day marking the anniversary of Columbine. And to others, like my mother, it's a day to celebrate their birthday. But for millions, it's a day to celebrate the use of marijuana.
April 20th at 4:20 in the evening at the University of Colorado Boulder. Tens of thousands have had that exact checklist marked in their calendars annually as they gather to celebrate a day of smoking marijuana. But recently, CU decided to shut down the event, banning non-students from the campus, which led some to suggest that the event move from Boulder to the Fort Collins campus of Colorado State University, where many have proposed the historic Oval as a venue for the celebration. However, other students think it would not be a good idea.
I think it would reflect really negatively, just given the Rams Point pool party and the recent altercation with the football players. I think that CSU doesn't need more negative press. I think it's difficult to fully condone 420 because it does reflect really negatively on the university, and whether you want to or not, you're going to be associated with those individuals who choose to smoke weed all day, every day, even if you don't necessarily identify that way.
Typically, the Oval at CSU is quiet and acts as a place of peace and relaxation, which makes some say the event isn't for Fort Collins and should stay where it began.
I grew up in Boulder, so there's a reason I didn't go to CU, and I don't want to be associated necessarily with people who just want to party, because I'm actually paying for my education, so it's important to me to do well.
We attempted to reach the CSU Police Department for comment on the matter. However, they denied both verbal and written comment.
And the fight over CU's campus isn't only between the university and the city. The American Civil Liberties Union is standing up for students' rights to assemble. Along with closing the campus to visitors, CU officials say they plan to spray down Norland Quad with a fish-based fertilizer. ACLU says these actions violate First Amendment rights. There is no word yet on if they will take legal action. And after a fire damaged a marijuana dispensary, investigators are calling it suspicious. The fire was reported early Tuesday morning at around 5:30. The dispensary is located on Federal Boulevard between 1st and 2nd Avenue in Denver. The early reports said that someone threw a lit gas canister on the roof and then took off.
Coming up after the break, cancer research coming out of the UK that could change the way we look at cancer.
Plus the effects of a drink that a lot of college students depend on. We'll be right back.
Colorado State University is committed to expanding access to education. Today, that includes online learning. CSU brings faculty and programs to students around the state and around the world. With flexibility to earn a degree online from a world-class university, and the ability to balance education with work and family. Learn more at succeedwithcsu.org.
While breast cancer survival rates continue to grow significantly, one aspect patients struggle with is coming to terms with the reasons why some women respond to treatments and some don't. But a groundbreaking study out of the UK may now be able to decrease the amount of unnecessary treatment with toxic drugs. Cancer is thought to be a condition with 3 or 4 varieties. The new research has proven it can be separated into 10 distinct genetic types, which gives patients varying chances of survival. And you know, Dylan, after reading this article, it did say that about 10 out of every 1 woman that is cured from breast cancer goes through unnecessary treatments. And with this research, I think that could really cut down on that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's a really good thing that they're trying to cut down on that because it's a tough disease to go through, as I've heard from a lot of people. And, you know, you want to limit the pain that you're putting your customers and patients through.
The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics says the normal amount of caffeine consumption for most people should be 200 to 300 micrograms per day. And though that cup of coffee gives you a wake-up call, overconsumption turns out to be a big problem.
A coffeehouse cup or convenience store pick-me-up.
Most students honestly just get coffee.
College students love their caffeine. Some even need it.
Drinking coffee definitely for the college student can be crucial sometimes. Obviously, it's going to give you the caffeine you need for the pick-me-up in the morning.
But what is all that energy doing to your health?
Sometimes drinking a little too much coffee can lead to dehydration, so you just want to make sure that you're not overdoing it, basically.
If you're counting calories,
you're getting mochas and then adding flavors, you have your chocolate, you have all the other things added to it, and it's just going to add to the calorie count.
And all those energy drinks?
A lot of what they do is just add a bunch of sugar and caffeine to give you that huge pick-me-up. So you just need to be aware that there is a lot of extra added sugars in those, and just to watch out for drinking a lot of those.
There are ways to make that caffeine drink a little bit healthier.
Buying just the smaller ones if you're going to have energy drinks rather than the huge monster energy drinks or things like that.
I would do half the syrup and skim milk probably. I'd say that's the best choice.
Skip the extra calories to pick up that healthy drink.
Inside, thank you.
One simple way Allison mentioned to help cut the bad effects of caffeine is to drink water regularly throughout the day. Now, about 8 drinks of water a day runs for an average-sized person, but increase that amount if you tend to drink a lot of caffeine as well.
Great story for all of us to take notes on. All right, well, we're going to send it over to Kari with our weather update.
Kari, are we ever going to get some much-needed rain?
You know, probably this evening. So Fort Collins was mild today with highs that reached the lower 70s. Those clouds we woke up to stuck around all day, and you might have noticed some darker clouds in the sky due to some isolated showers we had in the area. Tonight, expect those lows to get down to 40 degrees, and it'll be a little breezy with that wind coming in from the northwest. That chance of rain will return tomorrow and continue until midnight. However, Colorado isn't expecting as much precipitation as our surrounding states. Wyoming will see highs in the 50s and 60s and a much greater chance for rain than here. Even some heavy storms and high winds in certain areas. And Utah will see a much higher chance for rain and a lot of cloud cover in certain areas. But neither of these storms in these states will make it to the Colorado area due to that jet stream. Now let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. Tomorrow we'll see highs in the mid-60s and that 20% chance of rain. It will also be a little breezy with wind gusts that could reach about 23 miles per hour. The wind will be filled with this weekend will be filled with a lot of sunshine and highs in the upper 60s to high 70s. Monday and Tuesday, those highs are right back up in the 80s. However, we could see some cloud cover, especially in the morning. Well, that's all I have for you this week. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Kari. Good to see those sunshine skies sticking around.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, after the break, check out 2 Fort Collins companies that are being recognized for their work.
Plus, Scott Houston will join us to give us an update on sports. Stay with us.
7,000 students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. Keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
According to a Boulder-based Brewers Association, Fort Collins has 2 of the largest craft beer companies in the country. Based on 2011 beer sale volume, New Belgium Brewing Company was listed at number 3, and Odell Brewing Company was listed at number 30. Other Colorado breweries to make the list include Craftworks Breweries and Restaurants at number 28, Oscar Blues at 29, Breckenridge Brewery at 41, and Left Hand Brewing Company at 49.
Many of us saw this email in our inboxes yesterday, but how many of us actually read it? Let's hope quite a few, because it asked for student feedback. ASCSU President Eric Berlenberg sent out an email to the student body asking for their opinion on potential on-campus stadium locations, specifically mentioning that the Stadium Advisory Committee meeting last March wants more people. Only a handful of students showed up last time.
You know, did you read that email?
I actually didn't get to it.
You know, I read through the email, and about halfway through this email he sent out, he said, you know, if I still have your attention, then come into my office, I'll give you a free Frontier Airlines gift card.
Makes me wish I had read it now.
You know, I know. Maybe go back and read it, send him a little message that said, I read it now. But
is it too late?
You try it. Just go ahead and try it.
I think I will.
All right, Scott, well, you got some sports for us?
I do.
Awesome.
All right. Well, in case you are not quite the sports nerd that I am, as I'm sad to admit that I am, the official schedule for the 2012-2013 NFL season was released last night, and Lady Luck was not on the Broncos' side. The Broncos face a gauntlet of Pro Bowl quarterbacks throughout the first few weeks and throughout the rest of the season. 11 weeks out of 12, they'll be playing Pro Bowl quarterbacks throughout the league, starting with Big Ben Roethlisberger. The first Sunday night game of the year should be a nice rematch from the incredible playoff game from last year, but this time, Tim Tebow will be noticeably absent. Denver will have 5 primetime games, tied most in the NFL. It has also been rated as the second most difficult schedule, only behind the defending Super Bowl champion Giants. But that was not the only news coming out of Colorado last night. Jamie Moyer became the oldest pitcher in MLB history to win a game, 49 years old. He beat the San Diego Padres last night, giving up only 2 runs on 6 hits. After the game, Moyer said, "I didn't think about this day because I thought it would be unfair to my teammates and the game. To me, it was more important that they won for this team." Pretty humble guy. But Lance Berkman of the St. Louis Cardinals had something a bit different to say. He said, "I don't know if that's great or depressing. I'd be pretty upset if I'm still playing at the age of 49. Honestly, I just think he's jealous. I don't think he could play till he was 49. But Jamie Moyer still rocking it, still throwing the junk pitches. He's had a good run for us. It's been a great time for the Rockies and a great time for Moyer. He's in his 26th season now. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. Been pitching since 1986.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, I was watching the Rockies game on opening weekend, and there was a little trivia question for the audience that said, out of the 15,000 some players in MLB history, how many has Jamie Moyer pitched to? What do you think? What percentage would you throw out there?
I would probably guess about 3%.
I'd say 1 or 2%.
1 or 2? 8.4%.
Wow.
So when you do the math on that, that's about 1 out of every 11 people that have ever stepped up to bat in Major League Baseball.
It's pretty impressive. I'm sure he has like a lot of experience being able to tell stories about going against famous people.
Oh, at this point, Babe Ruth probably has pitched or has batted against him.
All right. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you tonight.
To get news tips, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Have a good night.